This is the kind of news that flips a playoff week upside down. The kind of update that makes your stomach drop as a 49ers fan. And somehow, it all breaks right before the biggest game of the season. Quick reminder before we dive in, if you live and breathe 49ers football, make sure you like this video, share it with another fan, and subscribe so you never miss a single update. Now let me ask you something right away. Can this offense even function at a playoff level if its most important piece isn't on the field? Because right now, that question is staring the San Francisco 49ers directly in the face. As the Niners prepare for their road playoff matchup against Philadelphia, the injury report has delivered a brutal gut punch. Trent Williams, the heartbeat of this offensive line and one of the most dominant left tackles the NFL has ever seen, is suddenly in serious doubt for Sunday. And if that wasn't enough, there's growing concern surrounding wide receiver Ricky Pearsall as well. Two major offensive question marks, arriving at the worst possible moment. Let's start with the biggest one, Trent Williams. This isn't just another lineman dealing with a minor setback. This is a future Hall of Famer whose presence completely alters how defenses are forced to play San Francisco. According to league reporting, Williams did not practice, and his availability for the playoff opener is genuinely uncertain. That alone changes the entire tone of this matchup. People love to point to Christian McCaffrey as the engine of this offense, and that's understandable. He touches the ball constantly. His highlights dominate social media. His impact is obvious. But when you zoom out and really study how this offense operates, it becomes clear that Trent Williams might actually be the most valuable piece on the field. When Williams is out there, Brock Purdy looks calm, confident, and in rhythm. The run game flows. The play-action game comes alive. Defensive fronts get worn down. But without him, everything tightens up. We saw it firsthand recently. Without Trent Williams in the lineup, Purdy struggled to get comfortable. Pressure arrived too quickly. Deep routes never had time to develop. The offense lost its explosiveness. The running game stalled. And suddenly, a unit that had been one of the most dangerous in football looked completely out of sync. That's not coincidence. That's cause and effect. The numbers tell a devastating story. Since 2020, including postseason games, the 49ers are dominant when Trent Williams plays. Their winning percentage hovers near elite territory. But when he doesn't suit up, that win rate drops off a cliff. It's not a small dip, it's a dramatic collapse. Even at 37 years old, Williams is still performing at an all-world level. His overall grading this season places him among the very best tackles in the league. As a run blocker, he's near the very top. As a pass protector, he remains a difference maker. Age hasn't slowed him down. Opponents still have to game plan around him every single week. And that's what makes this situation so dangerous. Philadelphia already boasts one of the league's most physical defensive fronts. Now imagine facing that unit without the player who neutralizes elite edge rushers and unlocks the run game. That's a nightmare scenario. What makes it even more frustrating is that while San Francisco waits nervously, Philadelphia appears to be trending in the opposite direction. Lane Johnson, one of the Eagles' foundational offensive linemen, is expected to be available. The contrast is hard to ignore. When Johnson plays, the Eagles win at a significantly higher rate. When he doesn't, their offense suffers badly. So here we are, one team potentially getting its anchor back, the other possibly losing theirs. And if that wasn't enough bad news, there's Ricky Pearsall. Pearsall's situation is especially concerning because of the nature of his injury. He's dealing with a knee issue involving the PCL, an injury that directly affects stability, cutting, acceleration, and deceleration. For a wide receiver who relies on sharp routes and sudden bursts, that's a massive problem. He already battled this injury earlier in the season. It sidelined him for weeks. And now, just when the offense could desperately use his vertical presence, it appears that issue may have resurfaced. If Pearsall can't go, the offense loses another layer. He's one of the few receivers on the roster who can consistently threaten defenses downfield and force safeties to back up. Without him, spacing becomes tighter. Windows shrink. And against an Eagles defense that has allowed the fewest points per game since mid-season, that's a terrifying thought. So here's the question of the day, and I want to hear from you in the comments. If Trent Williams can't play, do you believe the 49ers can still beat the Eagles, yes or no? Comment below and explain why. Because this isn't just about talent. It's about identity. This offense is built on physicality, timing, and balance. Remove Trent Williams and potentially Ricky Pearsall, and suddenly the margin for error becomes razor thin. Purdy has to be perfect. Play calling has to be flawless. And every remaining offensive weapon has to elevate their game. Now, while all of this injury chaos is unfolding, another unexpected storyline has entered the picture: Mike McDaniel. In a stunning move, McDaniel has been let go by the Miami Dolphins. Just days after participating in organizational planning, he's suddenly back on the market. And naturally, speculation immediately turns to San Francisco. McDaniel's history with Kyle Shanahan runs deep. He's been part of Shanahan's coaching tree for years, following him across multiple teams and helping shape some of the league's most creative run schemes. In San Francisco, McDaniel played a major role in designing the offense that turned Deebo Samuel into a matchup nightmare and helped establish the team's modern identity. There's no question about McDaniel's offensive mind. He's an elite designer. A sharp play caller. A creative thinker. Where things unraveled in Miami wasn't scheme, it was everything else. Game management issues. Inconsistent preparation. Struggles in adverse conditions. Difficulty sustaining a culture when things went sideways. As a head coach, those details matter. And unfortunately for McDaniel, they caught up to him. Could he return to San Francisco? It's not impossible, but it's unlikely. More realistically, he'll land somewhere as an offensive coordinator, where his strengths can shine without the burden of overseeing an entire organization. Pairing him with a young quarterback elsewhere could make a lot of sense. Still, his name popping up this week adds another layer of intrigue to an already chaotic playoff build-up. And finally, there's one more wrinkle: a potential surprise on offense. The 49ers have opened the practice window for wide receiver Jacob Cowing. A fourth-round pick who hasn't played all season due to recurring hamstring injuries, Cowing suddenly becomes a wild card. In college, he was electric. Quick. Explosive. Dangerous in space. The type of player who can stress defenses horizontally and vertically. But let's be honest. Asking a player who hasn't taken a single regular season snap to suddenly contribute in a playoff game against Philadelphia is a massive ask. Hamstrings are tricky. Timing matters. Chemistry matters. Could he be used as a gadget player? Maybe. A few design touches. A wrinkle or two. But expecting him to suddenly become a true, secret weapon is optimistic at best. Still, desperation often breeds creativity. And if injuries force San Francisco's hand, we may see them reach deeper into the playbook than expected. So now we circle back to the biggest question of all: how much can this team overcome? Because playoff football isn't about comfort. It's about surviving chaos. And right now, the 49ers are walking straight into it. Will stars rise? Will depth players step up? Or will the absence of foundational pieces prove too much to overcome? One thing is certain: this game is no longer just about talent on paper. It's about resilience, adaptability, and whether San Francisco can punch back when everything starts going wrong. And that's what makes Sunday absolutely must-watch football.